Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of F1 Project Phoenix and F1 2022 Career Mode. Yes, we're back for Season 2 of this series as well. But we're here for the pre-season episode. Slightly different format, I'm going to say, for this season. Season 2. The reporter stuff that was at the start of each video, I'm sort of getting rid of that. I was never any good at it anyway, so hopefully this will just make the videos a bit better and a bit more flow to them. They will sound a bit better as opposed to a monotone sort of reporter as well. But we've got a lot to get through for all the liveries, all the teams, the drivers as well, and of course a few the calendar, and of course I'll recap some of the rules as well. Of course, if you have missed Season 1, I'll try and remember to link to the playlist as a pinned comment below. But let's get on to it, and we'll start off with the reigning constructors champions, Mercedes. Now, of course, Mercedes are not the reigning drivers' championship after Lewis Hamilton lost the championship to Max Verstappen in a thrilling finale in Season 1. Spoiler alert there. Mostly thanks to Ferrari, the pit crew going on strike and blockading the pit lane, so Hamilton, who came for a late stop for Inters, was unable to make that stop. And as a result, really, Mercedes come into 2022 looking to be the fastest team, and they are up there again. I've gone for a chrome livery for them, so they're sort of gone back to the silver arrows, but it's sort of a different silver to where they were before. I think it actually looks quite nice. I've had a few issues, I'm not going to lie, where the chromed look doesn't turn up every now and again, so at the very least it will look silver, but out on track and the way I've been driving it in time trial looks beautiful. The car is also good as well. A little bit bad on the Sashi side for them as well, but their engine is so fast, so much faster than the Red Bull, Ferrari, or any of the Renault one as well. So much faster than those ones, so they'll be looking for a good result. And of course, Lewis Hamilton is back for another season, and he'll be joined alongside once again by George Russell, who of course, thanks to Hamilton's demise, was actually the runner-up in Season 1 of this series. So interesting to see how that partnership can flourish, who will be able to get the best out of the car for the Mercedes going into Season 2. Red Bull are next. Now, a lot's changed at Red Bull as well. Obviously, they were powered by Cosworth in Season 1. Cosworth engine, although it's still about, they've decided that it was a little bit slow for them, and they wanted to really be able to, although Max Verstappen was eventually the Drivers' Championship and he will be driving the number 1, they felt the Cosworth engine was a little bit slow and they want to be able to challenge Mercedes, so they've dug out the old Honda engine, and they've obviously they are using that engine themselves. Now, obviously, they did have an agreement with Volkswagen, but that agreement sort of has fallen away once Red Bull announced they wouldn't be re-signing Nico Hülkenberg alongside the reigning world champion Max Verstappen for the 2022 season. So that agreement, of course, is stalled, which means the Volkswagen name has gone, and as a result, they sort of could have gone back to the blue livery. But I've decided to go with the blue that sort of matches more the blue of the can, that their brand, rather than the blue of the car that is traditional there. You'll notice they got white as well, because of course white is a Red Bull colour as well on the can. So yes, Sergio Perez jumped ship from the sinking Ford team to fulfill the second seat alongside Red Bull. Now, Red Bull do have a straight line deficit to Mercedes, but they are looking very good in a straight in the corners, so it should be an interesting matchup between Mercedes and Red Bull, whether the Verstappen will have enough over the pure straight line speed of Mercedes to be able to push forwards. You notice also that obviously oracle fulfill the place. Perez, of course, just like in real life, has been able to bring a load of sponsors that Volkswagen's associated sponsors who have departed the team during that contract fallout with Hulkenberg. McLaren are next, and it's actually been quite a quiet winter for McLaren. They've obviously just got on with it, making upgrades. They're actually a lot closer than they were in season 1. They were of course top 10 contenders, but tyre wear, of course, was a big issue for them, which is why they, of course, people one stopping instead of two stopping. Now, obviously, Pirelli have revised their tyres for 2022, the final era of the 13-inch tyres. So there is better tyre wear for them, even if they are slightly worse feel to them compared to the 2020 tyre compound. Obviously, some of the midfield teams are moaning about this, like Alpine and Aston Martin, but McLaren are now looking for a decent points, and they've made upgrades as well, which of course allows their existing partnership of Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo in its second season in Formula 1 now to sort of push forward further out the grid and see whether or not they can catch Mercedes. One big thing for McLaren is they've lost big conglomerate Unilever as a sponsor. Apologies if I butchered that name, but they have gained some other sponsors like Nike and Twining, so they have been able to fulfill that sponsor. They've still got Viacom CBS anyway, which is big enough in itself, and Marriott even as well. So they've still got some big sponsors and not going to be short of investment in terms of the being able to keep up with the R&D, although not a lot of R&D is expected over the season, as well as the top teams, of course, the top 4 teams, I should say, are a little bit far away from the rest of the midfield. Aston Martin coming to 2021, a disappointment with their winter progress. Throughout pre-season testing, they look like they're stuck in the midfield. And of course, this isn't great because, of course, Aston Martin did manage to pit McLaren, Williams and Alpine all to third place in the Constructors' Championship. But they haven't been able to transfer that third place into be able to catch up to the likes of Red Bull and Mercedes in Season 2. In actual fact, they've fallen behind a load of cars and are really fighting for the best of the rest positions outside the top 4 cars. They do, however, gain a few sponsors, including 007 on the side. I've put them in British Racing Green as well, and I've added some of course there are some hints of those lines on the side as well. I've made those dark green as well, so I think it looks quite a nice livery. Aston Martin, if you want to use this in real life, go ahead, just give me a shout out as well. But yes, I think it looks a very nice livery. AMR, of course, on the car as well, 007, and of course a big sponsor, title sponsor of T-Systems as well with that T-Mobile link as well. Their drivers are unchanged for Season 2, Vettel and Stroll, no surprises there. But of course, Daddy Stroll won't be happy with the lack of progress that they've been able to make to the top 2 teams and how they've fallen behind more into the midfield, really, position that they would like, really. Alpine are another team that have fallen and slipped into the midfield as well. Along with Aston Martin. Remember, of course, Alpine, Fernando Alonso won 2 Grand Prix in Season 1. But combined with Pirelli's new tyres and the gap between the top 4 teams and themselves, means that Alpine have sort of fallen back into the midfield. They are, of course, looking for big, huge upgrades coming for 2023 in the new regulations. But at the same time, they also want to be able to fight for points in 2022. Alonso says he's committed to the team regardless of that, despite their slump in performance, and says he's looking forward to the challenge of being a midfield team in 2022. He's been rejoined by Esteban Ocon as well, the man who had a disappointing and quiet season 1, but will be looking to improve for season 2. Now Ferrari are the next team, and Ferrari have had a very good winter after a disappointing and dreadful 2020 season where they were 7th in the championship. They've responded brilliantly, taking full advantage of the token system, and now they are right back in it for 2022. They've managed to, of course, accelerate themselves to be the final and fourth fastest team as well. They do lack a bit of pace compared to the other 3 teams, compared to McLaren with their McLaren and even Mercedes with their straight line speed, and Red Bull with their power through the corners, but they are able to match them. And if they can get the consistency they want when things go wrong for the other teams, then they should be able to capitalise and potentially take race victories, not ruling that out for in 2022. They retain their faithful 2 driver lineups of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Both will be looking to improve after a disappointing opening season where Carlos Sainz was the only person that managed to get a one solitary podium. Although there were hit and miss results there, the majority of the time the Scuderia were outside the top 8, not scoring points. Reliability was also an issue for Ferrari throughout season 1. They are hoping that they have also been able to sort that out as well and make progress up the field as they have done for our pre-season testing. AlphaTauri are next, and it's all change in terms of their driver lineup. With Albon departing as well as Danny Kvyat, back comes in Pierre Gasly after a disappointing season at Williams, and he is joined by Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri. Now Tsunoda, of course, was in the Ford last season, but the Ford team folded at the end of the 2021 season. Subsequently, AlphaTauri thought that Red Bull thought he showed some promise. Tsunoda is, however, only on a 6-month contract, which means he only has a contract for the first half of the season. His performance, unlike Gasly, will be scrutinised by the Red Bull big boss, Dr. Helmut Marko, and whether he has a future in the team is yet to be seen, and he could be replaced by a raft of Formula 2 drivers, for example Liam Lawson, Yuri Vips and so on, who are waiting in the wings for that AlphaTauri seat. Like their parent team, they too have the Red Bull powertrain in the back, so hopefully they should be able to get a little bit more performance. They have also been busy over the winter. The AlphaTauri has made massive upgrades toward and are now in the midfield compared to being as a back marker throughout the 2020 season. So they have made huge upgrades, and hopefully that Gasly and Tsunoda will be able to show that off and hopefully get some points for them. Alfa Romeo are next. This is the team that I'll be driving for throughout this series as well. Obviously I've left Williams from season 1 after the squabbling there, more about that in a moment. But of course Alfa Romeo is a very different outfit now, because of course in season 1 they had 2 Ferrari junior drivers in the form of Mick Schumacher and Callum Ilott. However, due to a renegotiation of Alfa Romeo's contract, Ferrari no longer have a say in terms of the drivers that they get to put at Alfa Romeo, and subsequently I've of course approached them. They have made good upgrades as well. So they are a team that have moved into the midfield compared to being another team that was also a backmarker that has moved into the midfield for season 2 for 2022 as well. I've been joined, of course, also by Antonio Giovinazzi, who returns to the team, most likely as a stopgap for Théo Pourchaire, who's been heavily linked with replacing one of us, whoever performs the worst, and there are talk in the paddock that we're racing each other for the second seat in 2023 alongside Porsche at the team. Whether or not, of course, that the Alfa Romeo remains in Formula 1, or whether they revert to Sauber or any other team. Of course, there are rumoured buys. You'll notice, of course, on the livery there are Scandinavian, a load of Scandinavian sponsors and investment have come into the team to replace the Italian sponsors that were on the team throughout season 1. Notable sign that the Ferrari influence at the team is definitely at an end, even if they still have one Ferrari junior driver and a Ferrari engine power them. But we'll look for we'll look at making good progress, and we should be able to challenge the likes of Alpine, Aston Martin, AlphaTauri for those maybe just outside the points paying positions really. Penultimate team on the grid is a brand new team, and it's a partnership as well between two outfits as well, one American and one Italian. Obviously, Ferrari were looking to place for another team now to place its junior sponsorships and have a say over the driver lineup. So Maserati re-enter the sport and have bought a 40% stake from the defunct Ford team as well. The remaining 60%, and the team is still an American team because of this 60%, has been brought by Andretti. Andretti have been looking for a while to enter Formula 1, as they like they have in real life, and enter the sport in cooperation with Maserati. And they have an experienced lineup as well, in the form of Valtteri Bottas and Mick Schumacher. Schumacher, of course, the Ferrari junior driver for representing for Ferrari, and of course Bottas provides that experienced hand that Andretti are looking for to lead the team. However, whether Bottas will be able to live up after a season out of the sport is yet to be seen. There are rumours that Colton Herta could also make an appearance at the United States Grand Prix, although this rumours are yet to be confirmed, and it could be a whole number of F1 American drivers in IndyCar have been rumoured to be linked with a drive replacing Bottas for that second round. And the final team on the grid is Williams. Now, Williams have faced a very bad winter. The car has fallen down the grid. Yes, they've been able to make some progress, but considering where the other teams have been able to climb up the grid and are a lot faster than they were in 2021, Williams have been slightly left behind in the upgrade progress as well. They do have a brand new driver lineup in the form of Alex Albon and Oscar Piastri. Now, Piastri only came about because Williams were looking for a new engine after Cosworth announced there'd be no engine upgrades for their engine until 2026. Renault, however, are looking to upgrade and trying to catch up with the rest of the field, and subsequently wanted to also place Oscar Piastri in another team. So it's a win-win situation for both Williams and Alpine. Subsequently, Williams have gained a huge sponsor in the form of Nestle, however, so that added backing in the replace of Lufthansa, and of course the disappearance of the potential link with BMW, means that now they have a direct relationship with a manufacturer, and they are a customer team. They do have one. I do actually quite like this livery as well, with the blue. It's slightly a little bit darker than the current Williams, but it is a full nose, and it does actually look quite nice as well, with the light blue and the white as well. So yes, there are all the 10 liveries. Let me know which is your favourite in the comments below. Now, moving to the calendar, and despite mentioned, it is only a 14 race calendar. Most of the fact of the matter is that the big reason for all this is this mod is a little bit late than I've planned, partially due to my team, but also the testing that also was delayed. I wanted to try and get this out last week actually, but of course that was delayed, which is why there was a second driver career mode video last week at Silverstone on the channel. But also the views, I want to try and carry the views and try and keep the views of the videos up throughout the series, because of course we are going into January and February, the worst times to be uploading on YouTube. They are any content, never mind F1 as well. So I'm going to try and keep the views up as well throughout that series. Hopefully we can, and it's a good series. I know reading the comments, I read the comments as well on last year's series, and from the pre-season one, you guys were all hyped for it. So hopefully you are looking forward to this second season. Also, it means that we get to eliminate some of the tracks that I don't like on F1 2021, like the Netherlands was one of the tracks that was scheduled to be on there as well. Japan and Australia. As much as I won in Australia, I did lower the AI difficulty for qualifying for that episode, because it was for my team, because it was, you know, I wanted to go out on a bang, and we did go out on such a high note despite the fact I had such poor pace there as well. So Bahrain, the opener, is already recorded. I'll need to edit that as well, so that'll be coming out this week, Thursday. And then we'll have USA and Mexico, sort of a double header there. As I said, I'm surprised that hasn't moved to the start of the calendar. I mean, there were reports when Miami in real life that USA potentially could have. Well, Miami was looking for an October slot, so USA would have to move to the start of the calendar to make way. As well, so I've moved them to the start of the calendar. We've got Imola as well. Haven't done a 50% race there, so it'll be interesting to see what the tyre wear is like. Monaco as well. I mean, a 50% race around Monaco should hopefully be interesting. I mean, previous episodes in this series as well, we've seen crashes. Austria and Azerbaijan. We all know the castle section is treacherous. As well. Canada should be a good one. It should be a lot better than it is in driver career mode, hopefully. Silverstone will be dreadful as well, unfortunately. I can never get any luck at my own Grand Prix. Belgium and Italy should be good. Portugal will be an unknown, not done a 50% race. And then finishing off Singapore as a penultimate round. That's going to be interesting. And of course the finale in Brazil. Will we get the crazy finale finish between Verstappen and Hamilton that we had in season 1? We'll definitely have to wait and see. So yes, if you have enjoyed this pre-season video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more episodes of the F1 Project Phoenix at 2022 career mode as and when they come out every Thursday on the channel, throughout the rest of December and into January, February 2022. But until the next video, then I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.